Kyrie Irving is one of the NBA's greatest shot creators. A blend of a shifty handle and wizard-like finishes makes him one of the toughest players to guard. Irving's impact on the game starts with his shooting ability, where from mid-range or three, he has proved to be an efficient and difficult shot maker. He shot 41% on threes this season, proving to be a lethal pull-up three-point shooter, as he shot 39% on off-the-dribble threes last season. Kyrie has an array of moves such as step-backs and sidesteps to get a three-pointer off. He can get these off going either way off of screens too. One of my favorite ways Kyrie utilizes his off-the-dribble threes is within transition situations, where he has elevated the Mavericks offense to play a bit quicker in transition. In years past, with Luka at the helm, the Mavericks were much more of a half-court, slow-paced team. Kyrie, with the ball in his hands in transition, has the ability to push the pace, and with the athletes on this team, he has options to find in transition, adding a new dynamic within the Mavs offense. In transition, he loves to take pull-up threes above the break, where he can get in rhythm, and these threes almost always sets off an incoming run from the Mavs. Kyrie is a big-time shooting threat above the break or in the corners, and on catch-and-shoot opportunities, he shoots 42% from there. He isn't a high-level movement shooter, but is a deadly stationary shooter who at times you can work him off of screens to get a shot off, or he can operate as a lethal cutter. Kyrie is the ideal secondary creator behind Luka, someone who is a high-level shooter and comfortable working off ball. And Kyrie's biggest value comes to where he can put pressure against a scrambling defense, attacking closeouts to create easy drives and finding teammates. He is also one of the best mid-range shooters in the league. Per cleaning the glass, he shoots 51% on mid-range shots, ranking in the 91st percentile among combo guards. He shoots these shots at a high level, and this is his biggest area of operation, where 44% of his shots are coming from the mid-range. Kyrie also gets a lot of those mid-range jumpers off inside the free throw line area, and since a lot of defenders play him to meet him at the rim, Kyrie can just stop on a dime and rise up into these shots with ease. Still a high-level space creator with his use of sidesteps, pullbacks off deceleration, and bumps. He just has an array of moves to get off his mid-range shot. Being a threat as a finisher, it opens up those quick stop and pops that looks to be automatic. Kyrie is still shifty with his handle to where he can size up his defender consistently and get to a spot. He has the floater, pull-up J, fadeaway J, spin fades, and a ton of counter moves. He has always been elite at changing directions, changing pace on his drives. He doesn't always attack in a straight line, but he has pro hops that can get him attacking from left to right, right to left. His elite handle and the ability to use crossovers, completely stopping one way, pulling back, going another, makes him a pain to defend. Not to mention him being unpredictable in triple threat situations. You fall for a jab step and you give him space, you give up a shot right in your face. If you are aggressive, he shows off his shiftiness just blowing by you. He is much more concise in his attacks, much more substance over flash in his game, making these simple plays at a high level. This shows a lot in his dribbling. He doesn't dribble out the shot clock, but he has grown to be efficient with his dribbles to where he can use limited dribble moves to create an advantage. One underrated ability I've always admired from Kyrie is just his ability to attack double teams and still keep his dribble alive. If he faces an aggressive defense looking to double, Kyrie is smart in quickly pinpointing the weaker, slow-footed defender and attacking the side of the double of that player. This gives him time to scout more of the floor or even get into a shot for himself. I think Kyrie is probably the most complete mid-range player we've ever seen from a smaller guard. Clean footwork, can attack you in the post, can come off a screen and rise up for that jumper, can attack drop coverage, can get to his spots with ease. When we talk about Kyrie, his finishing is also something that pops out. He is the greatest slithery finisher that the game has ever seen when he gets to the rim. Has an array of herky jerk, hang time, acrobatic finishes that would just wow you, and finishes efficiently with either hand. But Kyrie doesn't attack the rim frequently as he once did when he was younger. He operates at a low 21% frequency when attacking the rim and shot 63% at the rim last season. Irving isn't the most explosive guard when driving, and it's tougher at this stage of his career to beat lengthy and quick defenders. Wear and tear on his body can also be mentioned as a contributor with the lessened rim pressure, and Kyrie at this stage operates more than ever in the mid-range, and he takes a lot of tough shots, which he can make at a high level, but he doesn't really get easy shots inside like he once used to. Factor in that Kyrie is more so a slillery finisher rather than a contact finisher, and it puts a cap on how truly effective he can be at the rim. Kyrie isn't a guy to bait fouls or be overly physical on drives. His body just isn't built for that given the lack of frame and strength. And though Kyrie is a tremendous free throw shooter, he doesn't get to the line as much, seeing a decrease in free throw attempts at 3.6. Kyrie's passing and playmaking has really been good with the Mavericks. Low turnover guy, does a really good job taking care of the ball, but his passing pops a lot when he is taking advantage of a defense in rotation, and this makes playing with Luka so ideal for him because Kyrie is so quick on his decisions, attacking a closeout or scrambling defense. If the three isn't available, he has an open lane to the rim, and this can create open lobs or kickouts to his teammates. There's been moments where Kyrie can get off some tough passes in tight windows. He isn't a manipulator, but he does a good job making the right read, right pass against a collapsed defense. He still can create blow-by opportunities at times, which does open up those driving kicks. He has a really good connection with the bigs on the team, hitting them with bounce passes or lobs off of ball screens. And since Kyrie is a big-time mid-range scoring threat, defenses have to play much more of an aggressive coverage, having the big defend near the level of the screen, which opens up those lobs and bounce passes from Kyrie. It's been apparent through the playoffs and even through Kyrie's career, I feel, that as a smaller guard, he does struggle in scoring against lengthy and aggressive defenders. He's reliant on his handle to create advantages, and if he can't create that advantage, it's tougher on him to score. Kyrie Irving, over the years, his activity as a defender has been really good. He isn't going to be an extraordinary defender given the lack of size and physical tools, but he does a good job staying in a low stance, moving his feet, pressuring the ball. He's a guy capable of getting stops, showing activity on ball, baiting drives and getting some steals. He is vulnerable within a switching scheme as wings who can create can take advantage of him. Kyrie's off-ball engagement can also wane at times. He isn't the most consistent off-ball defender, can at times be prone to giving up cuts, being slow on rotations and closeouts, or just gambling on a play. But for the most part, his biggest value on defense comes on ball. Kyrie Irving is still an elite second option in the league. His shot creation skills, shooting, off-ball play, and playmaking against a collapsed defense makes him a lethal weapon next to Luka and has helped improve the Dallas Mavericks as an overall team.